Welcome to the first and hopefully only episode of Don't Get Scammed. I'm doing something just a little bit different, but it lives in the world of EVs, especially electric bikes, for a lot of reasons. Well, one, the scam involves buying an electric bike, and the second part, it actually involves you watching this exact video. So I'll explain all of that and so much more in this really interesting case of a family friend of mine just got scammed. Let's dive in. So this all started from a text I got from my dad that just said, check your email, which I'm always just like, those like the scariest texts, like when you're younger and your parents were like, call me, and you're at like a party or something, you're like, oh, I'm screwed. No, but no, it was one of those cryptic check your emails. So I saw this. It was a family friend of mine, was about to buy an e-bike, and my dad was either sending it to me because he knows I have a lot of knowledge on e-bikes. I run this electric YouTube channel, or because he also found that this website was a little bit sketchy. The deal was too good to be true. So I saw this website right away, said, oh my God, do not buy from this website. But it was too late. And now, if he didn't already buy this video wouldn't have even ended. But the fact that he, I guess, fell for this or whatever, made me just dive into this and say, well, what would make someone not think that this is an obvious scam? And I just kept uncovering some things that made me be like, well, I guess I could see a world where a lot of average people like us could get scammed. And like I mentioned, you guys are at risk just from watching this video, sort of. And I'll get to that. It's not like I'm doing anything, I promise. But yeah, like what made this person think he could pay $90 for a $7,000 e-bike? Like that was the root of what made me start to think. And, I could also see a world where it's like, yeah, I know this is probably a scam, but hey, if there's even a 10% chance that I could get a $7,000 e-bike for $90, maybe it's worth it. And that might even be part of these guys' like scam. They're like openly scamming, but like hoping people just take a risk for like the hopes, and like letting like your own greed stab you in the back in a lot of ways. I think they'd probably get some sales for that reason, because I myself almost fell for this exact same thing a couple years ago, so much so that I already forgot about it until I started digging into this, and I was like, this looks awfully familiar here. So let me just back up and explain what happened. So first of all, let's address that thing I said about like how you could be at risk. Well, first of all, if you're familiar with digital marketing, there's this thing called targeting that you can do. And the fact that you watch my channel, for instance, well, I do a lot of e-bike videos, and that could be just enough for you to be thrown in an audience to start getting e-bike ads. And I won't get into like the deep roots of how that all works, but just know that absolutely anyone can open a Facebook or Google Ads account and have access to reach people based on their viewing habits, their Google search habits, what groups they're in on Facebook, so much and more you can use to find the perfect person to be a sucker. I've even used sites. I do digital marketing for a living, so I know all about this. There's some sites I use. I have access to people based on their credit card spending. MasterCard literally sells lists to people like me that I can then use to target. So basically, I have some lists that I would run ads for that were like people who spent over $100,000 this last month. Like I could target those people, or people who bought a sports car last week. Like I could get that granular on the things I can do. If you don't believe me, go ahead. I'll actually link the service that does this. It's called DeepSync, I think. Yeah, the one I use is called DeepSync Labs. So yeah, feel free to explore. And it's almost creepy how granular you can get with this targeting. So knowing that, if let's say you're at the beginning of your e-bike purchase journey and you watch one of my videos, like an e-bike review, that's enough to, you could be a victim of this if you don't watch and learn how it all works. Or if you just have a lot of common sense and realize that the deal is way too good to be true. So yeah, you learn about targeting. The next step is actually the ad itself. Well, it was probably just scrolling through Facebook, and they use this kind of clever messaging that says, overstock of e-bikes, come by now. Something that, was probably a red flag, because if you're familiar with like the car parts shortage, as well as that's affecting bikes and e-bikes a lot too. Like, so for anyone to have an overstock of bikes is just nuts. And I mean, I guess if you don't follow the news, it's an easy one to overlook, but kind of should have been a red flag right from the start. But hey, we're all suckers sometimes. I know I am. So you get to the site, and then here's where you're like, yeah, right. You start seeing, well, let's look at the site together, because I have the link right here. Okay, so you get to this site, Clearance Warehouse. They're having a liquidation today, in fact. What a great coincidence. You see links to Lego right next to mountain bike and bike accessories. So right away, that's what made me kind of be like, what the hell? I guess Lego people are another good people to target, I guess. So right away, I'm a mountain biker. I know all about Trek. I know that the cheapest nice Trek you could get is, well, $600. Mine is like $2,000 or $3,000. Then they go all the way up to like $10K for a mountain bike. And especially the ones on this page, like an E-Caliber, is easily like, I think, well, let's look at Trek's site. I'm going to say, just to be safe, 11K. Okay, you could get them all the way down to $9,000, but all the way up to $13K. Hey, here's one for $6,000. I might buy one of these. I really do want an electric mountain bike. As soon as they're legal here in Michigan, I am ditching my dumb motorless mountain bike that gives me real life exercise for something fun like this. Mark my words, this will be so soon. I will buy one of these the second they're legal on my trails. That's a conversation for another time, though. Okay, so right away, this E-Cal right here, especially this model we just saw, is $12,000 to $13,000. But hey, on this site, they have an overstock, and it's only $90. Man, so do you get why? Like, because it kind of, when you go into the bike, like, the site doesn't look bad. Like, you see, wow, 9 people are viewing this right now. Only 22 are left. Oh, it just changed to 10 people are viewing this now. 7 people. This has got to be kind of real, right? 5 people are viewing it now. Estimated delivery 22nd. That's only in a few days. I'll get this soon. Like, I could get how someone could be tricked, especially if you didn't do what I just did and looked at the actual cost. You're just like, okay, here's an e-mountain bike from Trek. I know they're a nice brand, and it's only $90. God, the more I get into this, it's like, why did you buy this, man? I feel so bad he got suckered, but at the same time, it's like $90 for an e-bike is, my dude. But you kind of see, like, if you have the 90 to throw against the wall to see if you might get a bike, like, well, here's why you might take that risk. So the first thing I would do is say, this has got to be a scam, right? Let me Google this Clearance Warehouse and see if it's a real site. So I would go to a new tab and I would type in Clearance Warehouse. Oh, wow, there's a physical location here. Okay, they're closed right now, but let me keep scrolling. Okay, let me go to their site, and then you click this, and you're like, oh yeah, this is the same logo that's on the version I'm at. Okay, they have some stuff for $89, just like the bike was. Everything kind of looks like that. Let's see, shop by category. Now, the tabs are different, so if you're looking that far right away, you're like, well, no. Let's go back and forth for a little. Let's go to their homepage, actually. Same guy, even. They literally just ported this website over to, here's the kicker, and as you see, the URL they use is hdryer.shop. Now, that's easy to hide when you're doing a Facebook ad because you just click the ad. You never type the domain in. And it's just a long trail. It's even longer in Facebook. It's like usually like a paragraph worth of text in the hyperlink because you got what's called a UTM code and all of this trailing information to let the link report back to Facebook and report back to your CRM sometime to know if users clicked this and that. Like that's all in the hyperlink. So in this case, like you would easily kind of just say, oh, it's fine. I just did like the landing page. This is a different version of this site, but here's the real version, and it's the same guy. Like, it kind of looks the same. So you could kind of, especially if you really think you're about to get the best deal around, you can kind of talk yourself out of like the logical thing that it's a scam, and rather you're like, maybe I'm the luckiest guy in the world and I just stumbled on the best deal around. So you do this, or maybe you type this in. You go and you type, is clearance warehouse legit? Look at it. Or a scam. All of these things pop up. And you type that in. And right away you see, okay, it's got 4.3 star review. They're obviously not scamming people if they have a 3 or 4 star review here. So now let's pretend I've convinced myself to make this purchase, and I go back to the site. Let me start reading. Let me just make sure this is legit. So I'm just going to read this verbatim. Good news. The above products are sold out within 3 days and will never be sold at this price. So right away, how is that good news? What the heck? Interesting. No, we have terminated our cooperation with Trek Bicycle Company. The broker gave us the right to sell for 3 days. That in marketing is called creating urgency. We will clear 86 sets of inventory at a loss-making price within 3 days and recover part of the cost. Okay, I think they're trying to justify how you're getting such a good deal because it's overstock and they just need to sell this to someone. This product is limited to 1 per person. We'll get back to why that is so important. Fast delivery. It's 30 money back guaranteed. Fast refund. Shipping express available worldwide. Okay, so they could scam anyone in the world. Free shipping. Wow, lucky us. They'll ship this thing that doesn't exist, and you don't even have to pay a dime. And of course, this part is really what got me. Dear customer, due to the huge amount of orders during the event, if you need to order several items, well, you already said we can't, but please place the orders separately. Otherwise, the system will not be able to process your order. So I did a simple Google, and I found that, the fact that they chose $89 was really interesting to me, because I was like, they'd probably get more people if they even raised the price. Because if I thought, when you see a $6,000 or $7,000 or even a $13,000 bike for only $89, that makes you think scam. But if it was like $3,000 or $4,000 off and you just thought you were getting a really good but like legitimate deal, that would actually have gotten me, I think. Like, if that's like, I wouldn't have raised an eyebrow. Well, I would, because Trek wouldn't be selling through this site, but I know that 'cause I'm a mountain bike nerd. So I don't know. I was like, that made me think, like, why are they not doing that? Then I realized they're limiting it to 1 order, and the price to not get a felony, like, it's called petty larceny if it's under $200. But I think what they're doing is making so if you open a case with them, and I'm not a lawyer, I don't know if this is true, but I have a theory that let's say you find out the person behind the site and you actually take them to court. Well, your particular case is only for $90. They'd probably be settled out of court and they'd give you $90. So it would be individuals suing this person. I mean, I'm sure it's still a different crime that they're doing. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because I was wondering, if they're scamming people, why don't they let them buy 10 of these, right? I don't know. Okay, so then you think, well, you actually made the purchase. It makes you go through PayPal, from what our friend who fell for this said they did. And another reason why I think they chose a low amount of money is PayPal will sometimes make you hold the funds, especially on a new PayPal account. Like they'll hold it in escrow, like PayPal will hold the money until the other party says, yeah, I got my item. But I think with this dollar amount, it just goes right to the person because it's under 100 or whatever that limit is. So that's probably the other reason why they don't do a higher price. Like, hey, my dad asked, hey, can he get his money back? Like, what should he do? And I was like, honestly, this website and that PayPal account won't exist in like probably 24 hours. Like, I bet by the time you're watching this video, I don't know, try, but I don't think it'll exist because they probably just literally clone, like make a copy of this website every day even, and make a new PayPal account every day and make a new URL and a new Facebook ads account because it works. It's obviously getting people to work, and they probably takes them an hour in the morning to set this up. They probably spend like $200 in ads or something like that, and then maybe make like $1,000 a day just from doing nothing. I always think like, you know, those like ads you get on Facebook where it's like, I do nothing all day and look at my Shopify account. I make $9,000 every morning. Those are the dudes who are doing this, by the way. I guarantee it. But I hope that this was interesting enough to learn what people are doing. Maybe you can get something out of this video. I know it wasn't an e-bike review. It wasn't about any EV vehicles, but hopefully you watched. And if you did, I'm very grateful because sometimes I want to do videos that are a little bit different like this. So when you watch these ones and I see that it can get the same sort of views as the other ones, it makes me happy. So I really appreciate it if you did stay through and watch. And if you did, a like or a comment or any of that buttons that you push on this page, they make me happy. So if you do that, I'd appreciate it. But obviously do what you want because you are you and I am me. Man, every time I make one of these videos, I'm like, was that the stupidest thing I ever said? And that was one of them right there. That was close. Like sometimes I start a sentence and in my head, I know what I want to say, but the thing that comes out of my mouth is just insane. Okay, I'm going to end the video. I really do appreciate it if you watch this. So thank you so much. I'm out of here. Bye, friends.